Good morning, Higher Hope. This is Wednesday, May 27th, and I thought we would start a section and just kind of walk through Scripture, study the Word together, and really lean in. And if you know me, you know that I am very passionate about Genesis 1, 2, and 3, and maybe that's where we should start. I want you to know who God is and know His Word and the beauty of it, and there's so much more there than what we can even understand, even what I can understand, and yet there's a beauty to it. And I want to start with Genesis 1 1. Now, the whole book of Genesis is the Genesis means it's kind of a Greek word meaning beginning, and that's kind of where we start in this verse. We're only going to do probably three words this morning, and these three words get us going in all of Scripture. It's the start of the story. Every book starts differently, but this is an important part of the book, and I'm going to read the whole verse to you, but just talk about the one phrase because we'll talk other phrases later in the week. It says this: Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and that phrase, "In the beginning, God." God is introduced this powerful and obviously creative and just the God of the beginning of it all. And in the start of the story, in the start, before any history was ever made, before any kingdom was on this planet, before the trees, before the beginning of the story is God. In the beginning, God started it all. He is the writer of the story. He is the beginning of the story. He is the maker of the story. He is the one, and I would even say this: He is the one who created time. That before time, there was God. Like time is another aspect of what God made, and He may not even be in this aspect of linear time. And I know there's different societies and cultures that look at time differently, whether it's cyclic, or whether it's a timeline, straight line, or a circle. Things repeat in some ways, like our history works itself out again, and both have some truth in it. But before there was time, there was God. Before we know anything, there was God, and you strip everything back, and this is the battle, right? This is the battle with scientific evolution. Is what is the beginning of this world? Is it a Big Bang, or is it, as the scripture says, God? And it is not. I hope it's not lost on you why this is such a huge battle. If you can even show that the beginning of scripture in Genesis is incorrect, is false, if you can take the foundation out, it kind of loses it brings doubt into the rest of it. And so there's this battle over who was in the beginning, who created. Was it God? Is it Elohim, or was it a natural processes that began everything? And in the beginning, it, Moses, the writer of Genesis, is saying, "In the beginning, God." Before this all existed, God existed. In fact, John 1:1 takes this same concept and he writes it about Jesus. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In the beginning, at this point, at this moment of time, before everything began, there was the Word, which the Word is Jesus. And so Jesus is eternal too. And so John's like pointing back to Genesis and saying, "Hey, in the beginning God created?" Well, Jesus wasn't created. Jesus was there in the beginning, before the creation of the world. In fact, through him the world was created. And it just gives us foundation as we look at the story of God as it unfolds. That God is not inside the story, although He is. He's also outside the story. He entered our story for our good because He loves us. And we have the Gospels and all these other scriptures about how He entered the story. But He's the creator of it. In the beginning, before any of this, God existed. And sometimes we want to move on so fast with scripture, and sometimes it's good just to soak that in and sit there and realize that how really big and powerful and like how so different than us God is. He is not created. He is the creator. And so as we walk into Genesis, feel free to read it, study it. There's a lot of things online that you can look at in that one phrase, in the beginning God, and why, and then the Hebrew of it. And there's a lot of beauty in that. But I hope that that gets you stirred a little bit on just how the story starts. It starts with God.